Since the weather decided to play nice, we're gonna plant some potatoes today. And I'm gonna take you along with me. And this is what the garden is currently looking like. Got the yellow boxes set up. Got some blooms. Still need to do quite a bit of weed eating. But I got my oregano that came back from last year. Got my onions still coming up as well. And several beds to fill. We had some pretty bad weather come in last night, but brought in a lot of rain, which I'm grateful for. So we're going to take advantage of this nice weather that we have, a break in weather at least. I bought these seed potatoes a couple of days ago from Lowe's. So I have 2 bags of the Yukon Gold, and there's about 4 seed potatoes in each bag. And then I also bought some red Norland potatoes. Also have about 4 bags, or 4 potatoes in each bag. And you can see the roots are already starting to grow outside the bag. So I plan on using these 2 bags well, probably 4 bags to plant these potatoes. I guess the rule of thumb is that you're supposed to have about 4 of these in each bag. That way it gives them enough room to grow and they're not overcrowded in the grow bag. This is a 10-gallon grow bag, so we'll test it out and see what happens. So I removed some of the soil because with potatoes, you have to soil up or gradually add soil in order for them to continue to grow. So I took out about half the bag that was in there, left about maybe a third of soil towards the bottom, and then I'll stick the potatoes in there. And as they start to sprout or grow greenery, then I'll continue to add more soil. So this is what it looks like, and this is about how much I actually took out. And now I'm going to add in my potatoes. And to plant them where the eyes of the potatoes, so where it's sprouted, they're facing up. So this is what it'll look like. And then I'm going to lightly cover them. Because again, we want these to continue to grow above the soil line and produce those green leaves. So that looks good. And I'm just going to repeat the exact same steps with these other grow bags, with the other 3 bags of potatoes that I have. This is my second time attempting to grow potatoes. The first time I failed miserably. I used a potato that just sprouted in my kitchen. It wasn't organic, it wasn't a seed potato. Well, I'm thinking that's probably the reason. I followed all the steps. I continued to add soil as it sprouted, and it produced these very tiny potatoes. So maybe I didn't let it sit long enough. I don't know. The leaves died back before I picked them, and yeah, it just didn't turn out right. So hopefully I have better luck with these. So these are the seedlings I'm getting ready to put in the ground. I'm hoping by this weekend. Most of them are brassicas, so the cauliflower, broccoli, and cabbage. But then I have nasturtiums over there, flowers. I have cosmos. I have calendulas. I have cantaloupe, strawberries. So there's quite an array of plants in here, but hoping that all of these can go to their new home by this weekend. Also today I will be sowing some carrot seeds, radish, and also arugula. So right now we're about 2 weeks out from our last frost date. Soil temps have not quite warmed up to where carrots would prefer. I think it's still probably a little bit cool, at least in the evening. So what I plan to do is cover it, mulch it, or with something to keep it warm. I have not had any success with growing carrots or radishes or even potatoes for that matter. I don't know what it is, what I'm doing wrong, but I'm trying again for maybe the second or third time. I think before with carrots, maybe it was just too warm. I was planting in the middle of summer. I've also tried to sow them indoors first and they weren't successful. So trying again a little earlier to see if maybe the cooler temps will help them, but just kind of keep them, maintain their soil temperature as best I can to keep them not too warm. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's the thing with gardening. It's a gamble. You just have to try. You learn from trial and error. So hopefully I get better results than I have in the past, but I mean, we'll see. I won't know if I don't try. Are some of the varieties I'm trying. There's 2 colorful mixes and then some regular orange carrots, and then I have the arugula, some cherry bell radishes, and also some early scarlet globe. So hopefully I can get some germination out of these. I found these burlap sacks under my garden bench, and what I'm gonna do is attempt to make some sort of cover out of them and put them over the bed with the carrots. I'm hoping that this will help not only lock in the moisture, they still have access to sunlight with this as well because of all the holes, and then it'll help protect them from getting too cold at night by maintaining the temperature. That is my hope. So I'm going to try this out and see what happens. Okay, so I've sown my carrot seeds. You can barely see them, but there's a cluster here. I did 2 rows right here, 1 right here, in hopes that something will germinate. We'll see. Okay, so this is the finished product. Again, not 100% sure this will work. Hoping that this coverage will, like I said, lock in some moisture for them, and in return also manage the soil temp. But we're just gonna have to see. If this doesn't work, I'm thinking about doing some sort of plastic covering to create like a humidity dome effect, but I wanted to try this out first since I already had it on hand, and I'm trying to reduce the use of plastics. So we shall see.